And because of that, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. And I'm going to reverse the order. I think that we originally discussed it, we were going to do. But one of the things that I've noticed personally, as somebody, as I said before, who's traveled around and tried to go to different gyms, is MMA gyms websites, martial art gyms websites in general are god awful. They are some of the worst websites I've ever seen in my life. I I know for a fact that other gyms have lost a lot of money, from me at least, because of how bad their website is. Because if I have to work to try to figure out what your hours are, who you are, like what your instructors, like all this stuff, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. This isn't the 1990s where I'm going to still take the effort and like make a call or something like that. There's like
Pick up the
20 other
phone. Yeah.
gyms. Yeah, there's 20 other gyms around
Yeah.
here. Give me the info I need. Let me figure out how I can come in and check you guys out. And then if you have people emailing back and forth, be professional, be reliable, and all that type of stuff, whatever. So when you told me what you were doing with your new business, man, I'm like, yeah, there's a need for that for sure. But go ahead and break it down what your business is for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I essentially help gyms get new clients without having to worry about the marketing and sales process. So a lot of what I'll do is I'll build a website if necessary, right? And a lot of the times it is
It's
necessary.
necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I'll run, let's say a social media campaign, whether that's through Facebook or Google, YouTube, that kind of thing, um, to their target audience. So, for example, one of the big campaigns that I have running right now is a 10-day free trial for a women's program. And when I started with this gym,
Mhm.
they brought in over 60 new members in the first 2 months. And this was like in the middle of COVID. So it's really insane. And
Nice.
yeah, the results are good. It's just the technology is there. It's just the fitness industry in general is kind of behind with the times. And so I learned in a technical IT aspect as I got into digital marketing. And then of course the digital marketers are extremely techy as well. But to take even a sliver of that
Hmm.
into the gym world is amazing. One of the simplest campaigns I have running right now is just like a Facebook ad where they click on it and it pops up to like a Facebook Messenger automation where it asks a few questions, hey, what kind of classes are you interested in? Fitness, jujitsu, kickboxing, whatsoever, and ask for their information, when they could come in, and that type of thing. So it's easy for the gym owners to kind of log in, look at the messages they have, and they're like, oh, look, so and so wants to come in for a jujitsu class. Let me give them a call. They said they could come in at 7. So to be able to streamline that process for gyms is a huge thing.
Well, that's one of the things, man, that I've learned over my years is that most people who own small businesses, whether it be a massage therapist, a yoga instructor, or a martial artist, they know what they do really well. They don't necessarily know business all that well. And so sometimes that means one of two things. You can go out and study it yourself and find out how to do that, or you're going to have to bring somebody in who can help you with that. And that's why I always try to tell people don't be too proud to hire somebody who does something that you don't know how to do. Like if MMA is a perfect example of that. You know what I mean? You could go and train with somebody who John Danaher. Well, that's not a good example because I heard he actually knows striking very well. But
Yeah.
the point being, you can get somebody who's an expert level grappler, right? And you're
Yep.
not going to want to necessarily learn Muay Thai from them. That doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. It just means that's not their specialty. And business is a specialty. And I think a lot of people start to disrespect that, and they wonder why their gyms aren't doing as well and everything. It's because look at your marketing, look at how you're running your actual business. You know what I mean? You're running it like you don't know what you're doing because you don't know what you're doing. And I want to put a disclaimer in here before I get a bunch of hate messages or fights thrown at me. I'm not talking about anybody specifically that I know. I'm just talking in general, but there are some shoes that fit out there. So I don't know. Master Matt
Yeah.
obviously is not one of them. So I did with Master Matt. I actually I had him help me out with one of my MBA capstones or whatever because he is a business owner who obviously has studied business and understands how a lot of that works and everything. And it's just I wish a lot more people either did what he did or like I said hired somebody like yourself to help them out with that stuff. It's pretty gruesome sometimes.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And a lot of gyms just don't have a marketing and sales process in place. It's important for any business to have a strategy to constantly bring in new clients or members. And I think throughout COVID was the most apparent time of that because, a lot of businesses had to close and they lost a lot of members, and not a lot of people were wanting to go to the gym due to, XYZ COVID reasons. Um,
Hmm.
but being able to stay in front of your target audience, you're always going to find people that are willing to come in and sign up and work out. There were tons of people that wanted to work out. I know someone that I was helping that he has an online training program, and we put out a free like body weight fitness thing. Didn't run any ads to it or anything. Completely organic. I think he got over like 550 signups within a week. It was just nuts.
Nice.
You just have to know, where to find it. And it's kind of like I believe in taking the GSP approach, right? GSP will go work with John Danaher for his jujitsu. He'd go to Freddie Roach for his boxing,
Yep.
and then he'd wrestle with the Olympic Canadian wrestling team. He went to the specialist to accomplish everything, and then of course he had Firas Zahabi help put everything together, and he fought that way. I think it's important for businesses to have that as well. Just to cover all aspects of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things you see with specialists, again, like martial artists and other people. Sometimes I don't know if I don't know if it's pride or what it is, but they don't see themselves as that type of business. But you are. If you look at the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he's not running marketing for them. He's not running the finances and everything like that. He hires people to do that. You know what I mean? And that may be on a part-time basis, maybe on a full-time basis. And sometimes that's what I think a lot of businesses get wrapped up around. Is like, we don't want to waste the money. It's like, well, it's only a waste of money if it doesn't work. If it actually brings in more clients, then it's not a waste of money. It's a cost for bringing in those clients. And that's exactly the type of stuff that I think that a lot of them lose focus on, is because when you're running a small business, you're already a lot of times bootstrapping it, and you're so close at any given time to going out of business because you don't necessarily have the capital to keep it running and everything. But you have to understand when it makes sense to spend money to bring that extra capital in, because once you start that train and people coming in, now you can really get some word of mouth going and everything like that. And maybe you cut back on your advertising dollars, but you still pay for people to keep up your website and all that type of stuff too, because those are very important pieces. Like I said, in the 21st century, man, and in 2021, if you don't have a website, I don't trust your business nearly as much. Like, that's where I'm at. And it may be because I'm a millennial, maybe because a lot of things, but what it tells me, number one thing it tells me for me, is that you don't care enough about your clientele to give them a very basic information source that everybody uses today. You know what I mean? Do I think that Master Rob is out there coding his website? No, but he has a website. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that will trace back to like having a good social media presence. Everyone's on Facebook, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on YouTube. And that's more on the organic side of things. And I do encourage that on some of the other programs I do. The main one I do is like the ads to the automated text and email follow up with appointment scheduling and whatnot. But when I do get a little more intertwined with these businesses, I do help them develop a more organic strategy as well, to where they're posting on social media, or just kind of staying on top of stuff. Because with some of the gyms that I work with now, a lot of their clients will Facebook message them. They're not really going to call them. They're not going to send in an email, but they'll definitely send Facebook messages, or reach out through YouTube or Instagram, or wherever they're seeing the content going.
And that's the thing. Like you said, you go to where your clients are. Don't just set up in a shopping mall somewhere or whatever, and they're like, they'll find us. We put a sign up or whatever. No, that's not how this works. You got to bring them in. You know what I mean? And that's what I really hope we get to see more of, because, like I said, you said, excuse me, martial arts gyms are one of the worst businesses hit by COVID, because obviously they're in close proximity to one another. So people already have that. And then you had governments that were shutting things down. And there's just like a bunch of factors added up to that, right? So I'm hoping that as they come back, they're really modernizing their businesses in that way. And it can bring even more clientele in there. And where you like turn this into a revolution for their business. It's a perfect time to do it. And like I said, you've got to have a web page. You've got to have at least a basic social media presence these days to really represent yourself in the best way possible. Because again, we're not talking about you becoming the next Jake Paul, Logan Paul, or any of these like huge content creators for these platforms. But what you do need to do is show people that you're out there, and it makes them trust you more, for one, but also it gives another way for people to find you. You know what I mean? It brings all that stuff up. So I think it's important to keep doing that. And with people like yourself, again, who not only are good at the marketing side of things, you understand it as a martial artist yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of grown up in the gym, I've spent my whole life training something. I think when I first went to Gracie Tampa, I was 15, and I had already been training for a few years. I grew up in the gym, and I know the gym inside and out. I even worked with the gyms, to this day, at the gym that I train at, I'll talk to leads that are coming in, people that are asking for more information, and I'll sign them up just because I have the sales process down. And that's something that you mentioned earlier about people communicating with the clients and needing to be professional and that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
the way some of these people talk to the prospective clients, will turn people away. So it's important to
Yeah.
have, not just the marketing process, but like a true sales process to where people feel comforted coming into the gym. And to tie it all together with, let's say, Matt Arroyo, he does such an amazing job. You walk through the door, first thing you see is the front desk, right? Someone's there to talk to you. They'll run you through like GTS, what they do. You get a tour of the gym. You get to try out a free class. They talk to you afterwards, see how
Hmm.
you like everything. Like Matt Arroyo has that system down. Like it, and it's part of the reason why he's been so
Yeah.
successful with his business.
And again, I'm not saying that he did this purposely or anything like that, but I'm just saying, pointing out how professional that is. You know what else? What other models do that? Equinox, or what's it called? LA Fitness. All these,
Yep.
that's how they do it.
Hmm.
They don't just let you walk in and give you a pass. Hey, go check it out. Let us know what you think or whatever stuff. Which is what most martial arts gyms do. And I'm not saying it's a terrible strategy, but have that contact with them. Let them see the features they may not know. Because if you're coming into a martial arts gym, you may not even know what you're looking for. A lot of people have never trained a day in their life, so they don't know what they actually want. They don't know why it's useful to have these extra pieces of equipment, these extra classes, and all that type of stuff. And having somebody there to walk them through that can help them make up their mind in that way. Because again, you're teaching them what they don't know already, and you're showing them already how to represent the gym. So when they come in and they see that, like you said, they see that person who can talk to them professionally, can show them things. A lot of times, I think they started running through like little mini privates with them and stuff like that now too.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than just say, "Hey man, come hit the mat, see what you think." Like, I don't know what to think. I know I got choked a bunch. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What does that mean? You can't just leave me alone to these wolves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And people are terrified of going to the gym. And I think a lot of us even forget that because we're at the gym every day. I don't know about you, but that's my happy place. I sit around all day like I can't wait till I get to the gym. But most people, especially people that are going to a new gym or are new to the gym or new to martial arts, um, they're going to be very nervous and they might need a little hand holding and encouragement in order to get through it. Something the gym that I'm training at now does extremely well is anytime anyone comes in for a new class and it's their first time, they get pretty much their own either advanced student or a coach that'll work with them and walk them through everything that needs to be done. Because if it's their first time, they're obviously going to need a little more hand holding and encouragement, like we're talking about. And it's super important to allow them to feel welcome, and to kind of calm those nerves a little bit.
And one of the things, man, that I think a lot of people who haven't trained don't realize too is that gyms have personalities. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like the individual personalities. I mean, if you go train in one place, let's just go through the Grant. Wow, I can't say the words right now. Gracie Tampa Network. I was mixing those letters all up. The Gracie Tampa Network. You got the Fighters Gym out in West Chase, right? You've got GTS, which is your more professional, and like a lot of this. They have a lot of families there, a lot of parents and everything like that too. You have the original up in North, which is a lot more laid back and has a lot more of the loose schedule and everything like that. And Rob obviously runs his school a certain way. I don't know if they have Gi there anymore. They didn't for a long time. I don't know if he went back to Gi or not
I don't
up at
know.
North, but the point being that each gym has a personality, and even if you go outside the network too, you're going to go and it's going to have the personality not only of its of the founder there, but it's also going to have the personality of the people who are there and everything else. And so finding that fit for you is really important. And so if you have somebody there to introduce them to that personality of the gym, that can go a long way for new people. Because like I said, when I go to new gyms, man, I know immediately what kind of gym it is. When you meet people and you start talking to them, you're like, after training for a while, you can feel it. You're like, oh, this is a gym where I might get hurt. Not because I'm not
Yeah.
talented or anything like that. It's just because these dudes they don't know what they're doing. They don't respect the training part of it, and they're gonna try to hurt you every night. I'm like, I don't like that. I'm not here like, dude, I'm 35. I'm not out here trying to be the ultimate fighter anymore. I want to train. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not out here trying to get my heel hooked by some dude who's just like really ripping and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not into that. That's not my vibe. For some people, that might be what they want, but nah, man, that's not me. So I think when you're developing that personality with, like I said, with somebody like yourself, it's important to not only market that personality, but also make sure that you know how you're managing it. Because if not, like I said, one bad experience. Because even GTS is a super professional place, all that stuff. But if you walk in and you see Adam Cantor and like Terry Janowski or somebody else like that just going at it because they're training hard for something that's coming up, that may put the wrong image in somebody's mind. And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing that, but you wouldn't have to know how to represent that. And generally speaking, if they're going hard, you're going to put them on the other side. You're not going to have them in the very front where a new white belt is going to see Adam grab Tony Francisco by his head and throw him over his back and everything. You know what I mean? Although everybody else who's there loves it and will cheer for it, that may not be the first image some people want to see.
Yeah, for sure. They come in and they see people sparring or, even rolling, and they're like, I don't know if we're ready for that. And it's like, it's okay. That's not, but someone needs to tell them that. You can't just let them walk onto the mat and watch two dinosaurs freaking go at it.
Exactly, man.
You get King Kong versus Godzilla on one side of the mat, and they're not going to want to be there, unless there's a friendly face or someone, to talk to them and kind of ease them into what's going on.
Thanks for checking out Starting Nowhere. Come find us on Facebook so you can comment on this and other clips and episodes of Starting Nowhere.